Thanks you guys for being here. Hopefully we'll have a few more join us as we dive in. There's lots of information today, so we wanted to make sure that we give some clarity to your brains as well as take it off of our brains. But we're glad you're here and welcome to everyone that's on Zoom. If at any point you can't hear us or you have a issue technically, if you'll just kind of turn your camera on and wave to us, we'll keep contact on the Zoom link just to make sure that you are connecting well. This meeting is also being recorded, so at any time, if you do feel like you missed something or information is unclear, you can always email me at Corey@utahcopa.com, or you can refer back to the link and watch the video again if you still want to do that. We're going to just dive right in. I wanted to give just a brief history of Utah COPA and the mission statement and what our mission statement is. Many times as I walk into businesses or different facilities, on their wall is their huge mission statement. And I was thinking the other day how important that statement is. And it literally is a statement saying, here's what we are and here's what we offer. And this is Utah COPA's mission statement. And it says the mission of the company is to develop talents, confidence, and personal skills while experiencing purposeful performances in a spirit of camaraderie. And I thought how important that is, that here at Utah COPA, it's not just come develop your talents, but it's your people skills. And we're developing humans, and we're trying to develop the best bit of humans that we can. So our goal is not just to help you be the best singer or the best performer, but to help you be the best you. And I think that elevates us and Utah COPA organization a little bit more than just your average company or your average dance team or anything like that. And we hope you feel that love and that welcome feeling with your children here at Utah COPA as well. COPA's pop music program, that's obviously our focus for this meeting, is a little different than most companies. Most, if you looked in the Utah County, Salt Lake County, I'll just focus on those two, there is no other organization like ours. You cannot send your child anywhere else because it doesn't exist. So we feel so glad and proud to be a part of such an organization. This pop program has been in development for 11 years. 11 years, and I think every year has evolved with change. Sometimes the change has been really minimal. Sometimes the change has been great. But every year we have grown and evolved in some way, which to me is pure goodness. Because if we stay stagnant the whole time, we're not progressing like we should. So we are no different. Our experiences in movement, whether it be hip hop or something else, our experiences in songwriting, our experiences in pop vocal stylizations, our experiences with getting our kids in the vocal studio and learning how to lay down a track and perform to a track. Experiences in the past, we've had the live band. The live band is something that evolved. We didn't have it when we first started, and it evolved on. Learning how to follow an instrument has been great for Utah COPA Pop program, and we hope to continue in that growing process. Today, here on the stand with me is Mindy Robbins, who is one of the owners of Utah COPA, probably very familiar face. Katie Higby, who is the director of the MDT program, and we'll have some new jobs next year, we'll explain in a minute. And then Tiffany Netter, who is currently the director of Gravity, and will also have some enhanced job responsibilities next year. At that point, I'm going to turn the time over to Mindy and let Mindy talk about our new pop track.
Okay, thanks, Corey. So this year, as owners, we started to really evaluate what can we do. We evaluate every year, like Corey's saying, but what can we do to streamline things? I don't know if you are feeling this as families, but we are feeling that everything is so expensive. Going to Wendy's is really expensive. we get through the drive-thru. I'm like, I'm sorry, that was $87.
It's the literal words.
And so this year, our own family financial strains of how expensive things are, and we've been down in numbers this year across all programs, across all locations. And that tells us a couple things. I mean, we've been in business, I don't know, 17 years or something like that now, and that's business. We have an ebb and flow, right? The market is good, and like I'm just telling you, after COVID, it was like a boom. Everybody's like, please get these kids out of our house and just have them take all the things. But this year was kind of like the recession year, and we were down, and it forced us to kind of evaluate what can we do for families to make this more streamlined, to make this more efficient. And we were forced to look at the inefficiencies in our business. So this is probably more detail than you want. I'll make it fast. But in the past, we have had owners, and some of us have been artistic directors. So like I'm an artistic director for music, dance, theater. Susie Balser's an owner. She's an artistic director for dance. but an artistic director isn't always an owner, like Corey has been the artistic director for many years for the POP program. And then underneath the artistic directors, we had academy directors. So Katie was an academy director for MBT, where I was the artistic director. Corey was the artistic director and Adam was an academy director for a little while there. And then we had some swapping of that, or back and forth. And so what we had is a lot of positions. And when those positions come together in our weekly meetings, it's a lot of passion and brain and interest, but it's also a lot of inefficiency. And so what we're gonna do this year is we're looking at COPA as a whole. So we've called them academies before. We're looking more at like, everybody here is training as a performing artist. You're just choosing an area of focus. So your track might be in pop music, a contemporary side, if that's what interests you. It might be in musical theater. It might be in music dance theater. That's a huge change we have in our music dance theater program, is we're offering a new track that doesn't have as much dance. Or it might be just acting, or it might be dance only. And everybody is a COPA performing arts student with just a different track emphasis. And we have a conservatory director now. So Katie Higbee will be at the helm of all of these programs, every single one. And then underneath, instead of artistic directors and academy directors, we will have artistic directors. So as we kind of chatted about this change, what that does is it makes our business more efficient, which then can in turn help us keep costs down for you guys, right? And it also helps us not just with cost, but with time and effort and energy, because it's a big job to be an artistic or an academy director. What's happening is the administrative stuff. Katie could be administratively, if the president of the United States would just consult with her, or anybody, like freeway systems before they plan certain things.
Freaking rock star.
Administratively and organizationally, she is amazing. So what we're doing is we're offloading a lot of those administrative duplicated things in every track, in every program, and Katie's gonna do them. So for example, event forms. You guys need to receive event forms for Katie will be leading the way for event forms for all companies. And then the artistic directors will be contributing to, like, you know, here's a rehearsal schedule that would work or whatever, but it's just more streamlined so that the artistic directors can truly focus on the art of their program. What songs are they doing? What curriculum? You know, hiring and working with teachers, and the artistic side of what they do. So we're kind of rebalancing things that way. And as we came to Corey with those changes and what that job would be, and gave her the time to think, is this something that she wanted to continue doing? It felt like it was a good chapter, and you can speak to this. But for Corey to push pause on the artistic responsibilities, she wants to stay in the program, which we're so glad about, because Corey brings the best treats, right? Am I wrong? Like every meeting, there's candies and treats, and she's a living princess, and she's nurturing and loving, and she's going to continue to be involved in the POP program, but didn't want to stay in the director position. Did I speak that well?
That is fair. My family just has hit a turn, and I want to be home more. So I'm going to let go of that responsibility. And
she's like almost doubled the size of her family in a year, you guys. She has 4
So
kids,
many
and
weddings.
all 4
like a
will be
week.
married in like a
Like, seriously.
12-month
Like, I feel like all I see is Facebook. This one's engaged, this one's married, this one's kids.
4 weddings in 10 months.
4 weddings in 10 months. So she will gain
Awesome.
4 new children in her family,
Which
and
means
they're just gonna
grandkids are
So we're super, like, the best news ever was that Corey was willing to stay in the POP program. She's right now looking at working with Fusion, which we're so thrilled about. And so we're super happy to have her stay. So then we had this vacancy to go, who can fill this artistic director for the POP track? And we reached out to Tiffany Nutter, who thankfully accepted the position, and we're super excited about that. We know that because she works in the POP program and has for a long time, she's also in the music dance theater program. So she does a lot of the medleys and building and tracks and cutting. And as you guys know, she plays instruments beautifully, piano, she rips the keys. She's an incredible singer. And so she's got a very big wheelhouse as far as we're talking, like, she's also happens to be very organized, because a lot of times I'm just gonna say this secret, don't pass it to a lot of our faculty, but we're not always left and right brain people. And so you don't always find like the organized Corey, the four of us sitting on the stand are here for a reason. Both brains are speaking.
At
But-
the same time.
Yes, at the same time.
Unfortunately.
So Tiffany is very well organized, but she's also very well equipped to step into this position, and it's a different position. When she was trying to find out, like, is this gonna be a good fit? What we wanted to be clear about is this is not necessarily filling Corey's shoes. Those are beautiful painted toes and great shoes to fill, but it's actually kind of different shoes. Like, we're walking down a little bit of a different path. It's more of a Converse path. Probably not as painted, your toenails.
Oh, no, I think I clipped them yesterday and was like, how did it get to this point?
So it'll be awesome. We're excited. We're excited for the energy and the talent and the changes. And in regard to other changes, Adam Holdaway has been a part of this program. He wore so many different hats for so many years. And last year, it came to a place where he just needed to get a full-time job to, support his family, and COPA couldn't. We wished that we could do that, but he got another job, and the time conflict between his full-time job and working at COPA just doesn't work for him. And so I was in Young Ambassadors with him like 25 years ago or more, and we go way, way back, and love Adam, and we'll miss him tremendously, and are super grateful for Corey and Adam and their passion and everything that they put into this program, because every year that's what happens is people contribute. I mean, truthfully, this program started in my basement, you guys, 16, 18, 17 years ago. And it was me. And then it was me and my husband who was doing the billing. And it wasn't this. And it would never have been this without honestly, at this point, 100 people we have 85 faculty, I don't know if you know that are contributing their passion, their energy, their love for what they do, and it's shaping this experience. And so a lot of these changes that we'll talk about today are in an effort to consolidate things for you so that costs stay down. And so that's one thing we were really looking at. When we look at student retention and fees, we have to evaluate when we're down, what can we do to make this more affordable? What can we do to keep families so that they can develop their talent, so that they can be here? We have a lot of kids on scholarship. We really pride ourselves, and if you love it, and you want to train, we want to make it possible for you. So a lot of these changes that you'll hear about are in an effort to make this more possible for you to continue. So I think that's
Perfect, thanks.
Okay.
Yes, Adam will not be returning in any form next year, so we won't have him at all, but we will miss him, but welcome his new adventures that he takes on. Let me just add that Tiffany will be taking on the directorship of RISE. So Gravity will have a new hire. And I will.
You should see London's face right now.
Is it good or bad? Because I don't know what that means.
It's good.
Oh. I was like,
So lots of fun to be had. And as we complete our hiring, obviously we will let you know as you are cast in the different academies. So you'll know who your directors are. But at this point, hiring isn't complete, so we don't have that information either. Okay, turn some time over to Tiff. She's going to review a little bit of what is to be expected in terms of classes and such for next year.
okay, so next year, classes for the most part will remain as you know them. We will always have a vocal tech class, because that, at least for me, I've both taught vocal tech in MDT and pop, and also not taught vocal tech, but that is something that's very unique to COPA, that is very valuable. These smaller classes with this private voice training, because along with performance training, you have to have technique. So that is still there and should stay there forever, in my personal opinion. Because I tell my private voice students in my house, vocal technique, you want to have it really strong so that when you perform, it's autopilot and it's there and it's underneath you and behind you. And so that's a really important thing that I love that COPA offers. Vocal tech is still intact. You will still have an hour of your company vocals with your directors. You will still have your hour of company choreography with your choreographer. Something that is a change for next year, which I think is a good thing, and hopefully many of you, at least the feel I've gotten from most of the students, is we're changing the hip hop class to a movement for stage class. So for those of you who have questioned your swag, this is probably a very good thing. And for those of you who didn't question your swag, we still have hip hop classes at COPA. It's just not specifically under the umbrella of the pop track. And you can sign up for those, whatever, or maybe just Google MTV, whatever works for you. But movement for stage will focus more on just being comfortable with your body in general, not necessarily learning how to do a coffee grinder or anything like that, but just having that ability to move around the stage with confidence and kind of learning the vocabulary of moving on stage so you don't feel like completely lost. Songwriting is an elective class offered to both Gravity, and it is not an elective.
No,
guys.
it's-
Yeah.
no.
And there will be a music theory class that's an elective for both Gravity and Rise. So as a big nerd, I would recommend you take music theory if it fits into your life. I actually tell students this a lot in both pop and MDT. If you want a career in this industry, if someone hands you sheet music and you are lost, you are out. So I've actually literally been cast because I could read music faster than other people. So it doesn't always work, but it has worked. So as far as that goes, you've got Mondays and Wednesdays for Fusion, Mondays and Wednesdays for Gravity, Mondays and Wednesdays for Rise. It's not a massive difference, little changes here and there, things that we feel can be more valuable to you as a learner, and things that you have choices in. Does that make sense? Yes, I hope that makes sense. As far as like your fees and things like that, all of this thing that I'm looking at right now, this is on the website. And like, I will tell you, like, as a parent of COPA kids, even though I work here and I think I know all the things, I will get onto the website and still be like, I had no idea. Katie occasionally will get, and Corey will occasionally get a text from me, and I'm pretty good at calendaring my life. No, I'm pretty good at calendaring my life. As a teacher and as a mom, like, I've got this down, and every once in a while I'll be like, time out. But I thought, and they'll be like, well, it changed on the website. I'm like, listen, I checked the website in July, and then that's it. So check it more. So all of that will be available to you on the website. I will go and I will look at numbers and I'll make my own sheet and see how things can work into my life and into my plans and things like
Can
that.
we pause just for
Yeah,
a second? Just those of you that are on Zoom, or if you have your phones and you'd like to see it now, you can go to utahcopa.com, and then it's under the company tab. And if you scroll down under company tab, it'll be under the POP company tab, and then you'll click American Fork location, and it will pull up everything that's updated for next year. So you can see your class times, the days, the tuition, the fees, and everything that she's referring to. So you can do it now if you'd like, or if you're at home, you can check it. But just wanted you to walk along if you'd like.
It also has the important dates, like all the calendar dates.
Yes, which please, if this interests you at all, this is something to be aware of. These dates rarely, if ever, change. And sometimes when you look at it, you might think, how can we do anything? I promise you still have very much of a life. Just put these in your calendar and just plan your cruise for in between. It's all there, it's all updated. Very rarely will anything change. And if it does, we're really pretty good about having conversations about it. One conversation that I will say as a director that is frustrating to have is like, when I will express that something was mandatory, they will be clueless. And what I mean by mandatory is it's just that you agreed that that was something you could do. And it's not gonna be a surprise. So it's there, very laid out in beautiful lines and colors. And then, should I talk about auditions? Do you have a?
You're on later.
Okay. Well, registration, not that one though. Pop Fizz classes, the registration is open for that already because it's not a company. So if you have kids that are interested in pop and they are like 1st through 3rd grade, you can register for that already, and that doesn't require an audition. So, you know, if you have anyone in mind who you might think might want to give COPA a try, I will say that as someone who teaches in both pop and MDT, if you are like, I don't know if I'm ready for like 5 days a week at COPA, like a pop class is an amazing place to start, especially for someone younger, like 1st through 3rd grade, especially because the music is really familiar to them too. It's the stuff they're listening to on the radio and things like that. So,
As you talk to people about that class, make sure they know that those open classes are they're not a year-long commitment. So if they're trying it and they just don't love it, it's something that you can drop with some notice. So
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's
a
like a
great
starter.
way to like get your feet wet without fully jumping into the pool.
Additionally, that class can go 1st to 3rd grade, but 3rd graders can audition for Fusion. So you could register for the class if you have a 3rd grader now, have your child audition for Fusion, and then if they get passed, they can drop the class and be in Fusion. Or you can decide what fits better. So there's an overlap there.
yeah, so that is a really good point. Like, it can be more term to term when you go to classes, which is maybe feel a little more freeing and less of a massive commitment that could be overwhelming. Okay, so Then we have our showcases. Those are staying the same. We do those, our solo showcases. That's what the vocal tech classes focus on, where you learn an entire solo. It gets coach technique as well as performance wise. If you are,
It'll be in there.
yeah, so we called it Live at Studio
It'll
6.
be live in the black box.
This is Studio 6. I was gonna say, I was like, oh, we called it Live at Studio 6 because we would do it in this room, but this room is becoming a
Hot yoga
Yoga
studio.
studio.
So if you wanna come do hot yoga.
I mean, great. Moms, come over to yoga while you send your kids to class. But it will be just the black box right next door. All the kids are like, wait, yoga? But that is a really cool opportunity. I know that sometimes when people have their kids in groups, they feel like they don't get to see their kid featured. This is another very COPA specific thing that's really, really cool. And they sing an entire song in front of all of their peers and the parents that come. That will be still happening for Fusion and Gravity and Pop Fizz, the class. And Rise, you will still be doing Velour nights for your solo showcases. It's an acoustic opportunity.
No, because it's with, it's.
We're
what
making it
teaching,
intimate, yeah, with Sunny.
Who teaches the songwriting class, and plays the piano and the guitar.
Yeah.
So the student, the RISE student can choose to either play the guitar themselves if they play, and then have Sunny play the piano. Or they could just have Sunny play the piano and they sing, or they could just play the guitar themselves, lots of choices there. But we want them to have
The
live,
acoustic.
acoustic, like instrumental experiences.
So just to reiterate for Rise, you are still going to have your Live at Velour experience, but you will have one instrument, piano or guitar, or you can accompany yourself if you want to say, I
So
play
in that
you.
case, you could have two. Like if you're
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
yourself,
that's true.
Sunny could also play, but.
Yes, but it will not be full band any longer.
I mean, if you really want me to play the spoons, we can talk about it. but-
I do it
But like-
pretty good.
And the reason,
I will play the kazoo.
And look, you don't know the name of
That's
it.
from
The
the
egg, the egg.
The shaker.
that's coming back to how do we keep costs down?
Morocco.
So the more instruments we have on a stage, the more money it is for your fees, and we just looked at everything that we could trim out to make that more affordable for you.
And it's really important to you guys. Another thing that's really good education is to know the value of an artist. And, you know, our live instrumentalists are amazing and they deserve to be reimbursed as such. But, you know, it's a really good thing to want to propagate that idea that live artists should be able to feel that they are being, what's the word I'm looking for? Compensated in a way that's worth their value. And so we want to make sure that this is the student-focused opportunity. You will have these awesome acoustic opportunities at Velour twice a year. Rise will. Gravity, Rise, and the classes will be here as before, as we have done with these amazing cuts we've got on the app. That is for a lot of growth and these awesome personal moments that mom can literally have an entire song of just you. Now showcases, concerts, yes. So the concert in January, in years past, Rise has performed at the Cubby in January. And then the last 2 years, I think they've done it at Velour. Rise will be moving back to the Cubby with Gravity and Fusion for their medleys. So that is what we'll be having in January. I've already started to consider, in MDT, we have a 4-year rotation with these really amazing themes that we love. And it's this thing where every 4 years we come back to that topic. So Pop will be going on to this now as well. And in some cases, it will kind of line up a little bit with MDT. I already sat down like the day after. I was like, here's my Google Sheet. So like, we will be.
Right, Brandon.
Well, if I don't include it now, it's not gonna happen. So like, those are the choices I have.
An example of that may be like the 80s show. The 80s show would repeat every 4 years. So you would do the 80s show as a Gravity student, and then if you continued on with COPA, you do the 80s show as a Rise student as well. So
But it
you
would
get those
be, yeah,
different show,
different
show.
medleys.
You
medleys.
will never yourself perform the same medley because
Yes.
you're never in a company for more than 3 years. Does that make sense? It's a 4-year rotation, but you will never repeat a medley because you're never, especially in pop, even in MDT, no one's ever in a company for more than 3 years. And so like next year, I'm still debating kind of on the first one. But as of right now, we're going to be like doing like the top hits of specific genres of music. So we're looking at, it will probably be, and this could change, but it will be like maybe country for Fusion, like pop rock for Gravity, and R&B and Motown for Rise. And then the second term, We're trying to kind of line up, is this for sure?
Don't we,
We're debating that. We're gonna try to get that in.
Okay.
Yeah. As
So.
far as where we're performing, we're trying to figure that out.
Something that really makes a concert really enjoyable for an audience member is a nature of cohesion. That's why like a director even exists. And so in some cases, the rotation of the MDT theme affects a little bit of the theme for pop if it makes sense. And so I'm actually very excited about the May one. So I already made a playlist on my phone. So the May concert for pop, whether it is at the Cubby or at the Leona, is going to be, it's Disney themed because that's what MDT is doing, but we will be doing credits. So this was a huge thing that started with like Beauty and the Beast. When the credits would roll, you'd hear like this pop version of the song, like Peebo Bryson comes in and starts riffing or whatever. But Peebo Bryson did like 3 of them, I just noticed, but anyway. And that has continued, and a lot of the songs, it's so funny because I've made this playlist of songs that are not necessarily that familiar in the movies that will play in the credits, and I've had it play in my car. Malia started crying the other day because like the credits songs are so like Immortals from Big Hero 6, songs like that, or like, so it would be all those pop songs that you hear in the credits.
Did you make the
Disney
playlist
movie.
on Spotify?
It's now it's on Apple Music. Do you need me to share it with
You
you?
can share it. You should
And
share
that's
it.
I have it. It's
Share
a
it with me,
good,
Share it with them.
you guys, it's a
Share
good
it with them.
playlist. Like I was like, I was gonna make it just for Rise, that they were gonna be the credits, but then I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many good songs that like, we'll just make it. There's, of course, like the ones from Beauty and the Beast, Whole New World, but there's like, excuse me, Eye to Eye from the Goofy movie. Thank you very much. If you've ever done physical warm-ups with me, you know I always play that song. Someday from Hunchback, which isn't in the show, but is a gorgeous song.
She'll share it
Yeah,
with you.
I'll share it. If
She'll
you
share
want it, I will share it with you. So that's
And
gonna be the main concert.
Yeah, and as we talk about that, that streamlining of themes is another way for us to efficiently be able to lower your fees. Because the recreation of new medleys every year is a massive expense. When we come back to it, we always, whether it's MDT or pop, we always evaluate, does this need tweaking? Were the keys good? Are there new hot songs that we want to incorporate? Or does this medley entirely need to be scrapped? That happens all the time. So we're not glued to it, but it allows us to have a framework and a ladder to work within to make it more efficient, right?
And I also think it's a fun thing to look forward to. We have kids, at least in the MBQ program, a lot being like, I can't wait to do that medley.
Yeah.
And I know pop music, sometimes you're like, well, what about the new stuff? There will be that in the rotation as well. Like I've already got like today's hits is in the rotation and that one will get fixed. But the truth of the matter is pop music stays the same for like 5 years. So like, we're good. Like we can just kind of shift it. But I mean, a lot of the amazing stuff is in the history of pop music as well. So there's a lot of stuff that's timeless and and the medleys will feel really clean and I think you'll be really, really excited.
I think it's gonna be a great improvement, for so many reasons. So something that we're really excited about across the board.
And then I know Tiff mentioned to, location for the May concert. We're anticipating it will be at the Leona once again. That could change, but that's our
yeah,
anticipation.
Yeah, we've already made it through May this year.
For
I'm like 2025.
2025, yeah, yes. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, quick changes for music video. We will do a company-wide, pop track-wide music video that we will work on in our company camp this year. Once again, it will be one video for all ages. We'll participate all together.
Which
There
we did this
will-
last year.
Which we did last year. There will no longer be Rise music videos. And I see some relief and maybe some sadness on a few of you. However, if you are like, I really want to make a music video, we do have connections that we can send you to those individuals. If you really do want to make your own music video, that you can still have the opportunity. It just will not be something that we as COPA provide in our.
Yeah, that allows you guys the flexibility to choose if you want to do it or not, right?
Yes.
And then not everybody, because every RISE student may not have appreciated that experience, and yet you had to pay for it. So in this way, you can do it if you want to do it, or you can save the money if you didn't. So flexibility.
And I feel like it often fell in this time of year.
Yeah.
When you guys are like,
May have,
Oh, we're feeling it right now,
yeah.
right? Rise is feeling it right now, trying to get them all done. So, okay, Kate.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about tour. I love tours. I'm super passionate about the tours. They're one of my favorite things about COPA. For your tours next year, Gravity is gonna go to California, do a Southern California experience. Disneyland offers this awesome opportunity to do workshops there on site with their awesome cast members. Every workshop I've ever been to at Disneyland, I have cried.
Me too.
Because they're so inspiring, and it's really fun to go backstage, and not even backstage, they call it backstage, but like behind the rides, and you're like walking in
Or
this
underground.
full city that exists behind Disneyland, and they have great teachers, and they have so many workshops to choose from. They'll custom choose workshops that fit you guys specifically. And then you get to perform at Disneyland as well. We've talked about maybe
Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, maybe Knott's Berry Farm, and then, other experiences in the LA area. So it'll be a really fun tour. It'll be in February, so not summer. It's kind of a different thing this year. It'll be earlier in February, and it'll be a lot of fun. The Rise tour is gonna be New York City. There's a lot of pop opportunities in New York City with recording studios. A lot of the major labels have offices and facilities out there that we can tour, meet with people, meet with managers. We'll look for some great performing opportunities. There's places where we can, it'll just be really awesome. What else are we thinking for New York?
Yeah, one
I
of the
think they
things,
wanna see
We're working with-
MJ.
Oh, yeah,
also
we're gonna go
opening.
see a show.
multiple things, we actually are lining up, like I said, nothing is set yet, it's all in this shaping.
We start with the
tour.
location.
Yeah,
And we go from there.
but different individuals that are working on albums, that just dated me, right?
On their record.
Well, an album.
Their
Yeah.
records.
I
Right
read
now,
that
we're
album yesterday.
having opportunities to meet with them and get a little bit of a feel of like what they go through, what that process is like. So hopefully that will solidify and we will get that experience, but right now it's in the woodworks and kind of a fun opportunity. That Rise Tour also is in February as well.
Yeah.
So the Rise Tour and the Gravity Tour are actually 1 week,
Back
and
to
next
back.
week is the Rise Tour. So it's a busy season for all of COPA.
And the
in
Rice
February.
tour is over President's Day, and so it's nice because for older high school students, you get a 3-day weekend where you're
Well,
not missing as much.
Even the Gravity tour, because Alpine has that random day off.
Yeah.
Early
So
February.
there were like 2 days off.
So each tour, at least this year, had a day off of school, so that you weren't missing as much
It was
school.
nice the way it.
I was gonna say something more
And
about the New
these
York
dates
tour.
too, these February dates, they're all on the calendar, or not the calendar, they're
Good.
all on the website. Yeah. Under that link, so
On the flyer.
on the flyer, yep.
I was gonna say something about New York, and now I can't remember what that's. Oh, well. If it
Sorry,
comes to
I
me,
might
I'll tell
interrupt
you.
you.
No, it's okay, I asked you for feedback, and then I thought of something.
Okay, you're on tuition.
Yeah, they're on all of it. Just look it up.
It's all on it.
It's there.
You're telling.
I was
Yeah.
trying to speed read and I got overwhelmed.
It's right there.
No, I see it. Yeah, and I saw it there too. Of course, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk really quickly about tuition and fees. A question, so your tuition is listed on the website as well, so you can go find the company that you think you're gonna be in, and it will tell you the tuition, and then down low, you can see the fees, just like every year in the past. A question that we get every year, as you all know, the company contract is from July 1st to June 30th. And that is how we've always operated. The question we always get is, why am I paying full tuition in December when we only have 2 classes? Or why am I still paying in June when we're basically done? The reason we do that is, actually it started from the parents. Maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago, we had a big parent meeting. We called it a town hall, and parents were frustrated with tuition not being the same every month. Because we did do it where it was like, there's 2 classes this month and there's 5 this month. And so we figured it out per month, which was hard for us also, but it was frustrating for parents. And same with fees. You would have no fees, and then suddenly right before the concert, you'd have a costume fee and a concert fee and a microphone, whatever all the things are that go to that concert. And so parents wanted something that was the same every month. So we very, very carefully look at the tuition and the fees every single year. Hours, I'm not kidding, hours of meeting, tweaking and analyzing, and what did we spend, and how much do we think we need this year with the cost increases, and can we cut here, and what can we do? And we add up every single week your student is in class, and we divide it by the 12. So even though you start paying tuition in July, but you might not do anything that month, I promise you, you are not paying for anything that you're not getting class-wise. Okay, so it's just divided evenly to help your budget, to help your planning, so that you know that every month I'm gonna pay this much and it's not gonna fluctuate. Same with the fees. We take up all of the fees that you're needing to pay for the year that apply to like the hard costs. We consider tuition as class time and the hard costs are in the fees. Stuff that we collect and usually pay out to somebody else, like a theater or, my mind just went blank, costumes.
Sound engineer.
Yeah, a sound engineer, hiring an outside entity to come help with something. We add those up as well, we divide them evenly by the 12 months. So just know that we do very carefully analyze it every year. You're not paying for anything that you're not getting, I promise.
And
Even
you
though
will
it might
see-
feel like, I only had 1 class this month or 2 classes, especially in December. But
Fees for all three pop companies will go down
yes,
this year.
Which was,
which is what was our
great.
goal, that was
Yeah.
our goal, yeah.
and Rice, yours went down significantly, so.
Tuition will
Will
go
be
down
helpful.
for Rise as well. Tuition will hold for Fusion and Gravity. So there's not increases, but there are, but Rise will go down in tuition and all three will go down in fees. Connor, what are you saying? Oh. That's so nice. Oh, good.
That was, do you want my turn?
And it's like,
What is
like,
that
what are
already?
you
Like,
saying?
why are you engaging with me? I'm trying to hide.
I know, we're trying to keep you in your time. I'm gonna move on a little bit to the audition process. Once again, everything that we're mentioning here can be found online. There are also flyers at the front desk. This is online in its full form. This is also printed out at the front desk. For
It's
those of
also on
you-
Instagram.
Yeah, if you're in attendance here, feel free to grab one here.
Take some for friends.
Right there. Yes, it's all
Thanks, Ashley.
available, easily accessible.
Always really fun, cute.
Tiffany's
not
letting
Likeable
work
friends.
Auditions, once again, are for AF Pop, May 13th. Please arrive by 5 for sign-in. And then audition process is from 5:30 to 7:30. If you are auditioning for Draper Pop, that is May 15th. And it does the same thing, arrive at 5 o'clock, audition process is 5:30 to 7:30.
And you can scan this QR code and
and
fill out the form in advance.
Yes,
That's
and we
way
ask you to do
easier.
that.
Yeah.
It's easy for us for the audition.
Then you
And
can
our
just show
front
up
desk-
and walk in.
And let me clarify this too, just because of the transitions happening. Corey will remain the artistic director until June 1st. And then
Actually, I work through June.
through June, sorry,
Yeah.
June 30th,
June 1st.
July 1st.
Mhm.
So TIFF will start July 1st. However, if it's an artistic question, it would go to Tiffany, but if it's an administrative question, it would go to Katie. So Katie will handle
After
student management and contract questions, you know, and the front
Schedule.
office, tuition, payment, all of those things.
Which
But if
means,
it's like,
please
hey,
refer to Katie. Doesn't mean we don't like you. It just means.
yeah, so you might
Refer to
find a lot of
Katie.
Tiffany saying, hey, that's something, let me connect you with Katie and she can help you out with that.
Just
So
in your
just, you know-
brain, think administrative, artistic class time, right? So when you're thinking of like, who should I email about this? Hopefully that helps. you.
Numbers,
Yeah.
notes.
Administrative, medleys, costumes class.
Awesome. There were a few questions about the audition process. We ask you to come with 1 to 2 songs. If you have had any class from me, you'll know you never show up to an audition for 1 song. You probably show up with 2. Otherwise, you'll be singing ABCs. Because you never know if that director or that person that is you are auditioning for may say, do you have something else to sing? You want to be prepared. So you always want to show up with 2 songs. Most commonly, you will sing 1. You do need to provide yourself a track. So having tracks on YouTube, anything like that. perfectly
Please do your
accessible.
best with tracks though, to
And
make sure you have it on your phone in a way that doesn't require the internet. Screen record it, download it, whatever you can do, just because you never know.
Oh, it
Have-
cause stresses.
Yeah, have, like, if it's on YouTube, then screen record the cut. And if you have it played on the piano, then that's voice memo, that's not internet. Just do your best to make sure you don't require the internet for your track.
That's perfect. Also, questions have come up of how we process the audition. Just because you are a certain age does not mean that automatically puts you within that age group. This year, for example, we had a girl that was a sophomore in Gravity, and we had a girl that was a freshman in Rise. So we try to take into consideration not just your talent-based, but we also take into consideration your age. And mainly for that maturity level, we obviously don't want to put a 4th grader in with a bunch of 9th graders, right? Sometimes that maturity level isn't quite cohesive. But we do, it's not just a set thing like, oh, how old you are? Oh, you're in this group. How old are you? You're in this group. But there is a lot that is considered. And after auditions, there's a lot of discussion, and if you've ever auditioned for pop before, you know that we videotape every single audition and we rewatch those auditions. So it is a lot of time process, and we think through it. We try to place you where we feel you could have the best opportunities to grow as well as succeed and be a great addition to that company.
And something
So-
for next year specifically that we kind of want to look at is like, we had 18 kids in Gravity this year, and we had, how many in Rise? Like
Nine.
Well, we started with
We
10.
started-
Yeah.
Started with 10.
And that is something that, in the past, it's kind of just been like, well, big gravity or whatever, but I think moving forward, we might try to ease up on a more balancing those companies out. Because that's very odd to have 18 and then this like, and Fusion had like
We had
8.
10.
Oh, they did? Maybe it's just good they're short.
It just
But-
really depends, like every year it depends on who comes and what ages and how the cookie crumbles. So year to year, it's like completely different.
Yeah.
One year in an MDT program, we had an entire company of all sixth graders. One company, because that's how many came in audition. So, yeah, you just never know how the cookie crumbles.
Sixth grade.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Mindy's gonna talk a little bit about an awesome opportunity that we have. We are affiliated with here at Utah COPA, and we would highly encourage all of you in high school, that high school age bracket, to take advantage of this. It is easy peasy lemon squeezy and gives you so much benefit for your credits.
So this is, yeah, for high school students, the state from ninth grade, so it could be actually junior high or middle school, depending on your student's school. From ninth grade to 12th, in order to graduate from a public school, you need to have X amount of credits. It's something like 9 elective credits, 1.5 fine art credits, and 1.5 PE credits. And we have partnered with an independent private school that recognizes what the time that you're spending in COPA as the value of what you would be doing in a high school class. So you can receive high school credit from your COPA classes. What that looks like is we have a partnership with them, and that partnership is a discount to you as a COPA student for the credit that you would pay for. So it's just like going to a private school. You would pay Alta. It's altaindependent.com, I think, and you would pay them, and I think it's $200.
I have no idea.
I think
do
it's
have, but I don't-
$200 per credit, 1 credit per year. We don't make a cut off of that, so it's just a service that we provide through the partnership. But I'll just give you an idea. My daughter's a senior and she's graduating, and she's done all the companies except for pop. She did acting and music, dance, theater, and she did dance.
Who?
Miley.
I was gonna say, cause Anna did pop.
Yeah. Oh, Anna did do pop, but she hasn't used Alta yet.
Oh,
She
yeah.
will though. But anyway, what we chose to do is invest her time in high school in harder classes. So she took like AP and honors classes, and she only took 4 to 5 every year that she went to high school. So she would not have an early period, like first period, or an early release period, or she might just go on A days and not at all on B days. And what that allowed was for her to invest more time in calc labs after school, or more time honestly resting, so that she could do well in those classes, and then she received credit for the time she was spending here. And that credit means that they email us, and I don't know how it works for every other program. Do you handle it for everybody, Katie, the grade?
I
or-
can look for pop.
Okay. They email the artistic director, and basically you need to be attending, right? And then like Corey, or in this case Tiffany, would write back and be like, it's an A. And so it helps your
Well,
transcript.
We have to fill out,
Close.
we have to fill out a form.
We just tell them their attendance and participation. They also have to write
Yeah,
an
we
essay.
So they write a 2-page essay that's really easy, just about what they've learned. And then they give the
Alta
grade.
grades that.
Yeah, Alta grades that based on the attendance and the essay.
Now,
We fill
let
out
me say this
documentation.
though, if your essay is not up to par, cause I've had a daughter have this happen. They would write back and say, we need a little more substance. They don't just say, oh, you got a B, done, it's on your transcript. They'll say, hey, we're gonna give you another chance. So it's a great way to get your GPA up and get a lot of good A's, because they're like, rewrite this, we need a little more substance. And then they do, and they'll keep working with you until you have the A.
But it's
so that you
easy.
can say.
It's so easy.
Yeah, because you're already here.
It's easy not to do it.
Yeah, and so anyway, and that's something, honestly, like the Alta credit, you could use fundraisers for.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about fundraisers, but we do offer fundraisers. You can use the fundraisers for tuition for your tours, or you could use it for Alta and say, I have this opportunity to be at Utah COPA. and I'm raising, you know, and you could use one of our fundraisers, you could go sell cookie dough. Frozen cookie dough to your neighbors and use that money to help you cover that Alta cost, and then you free up your schedule so that you can really focus on the things that you love.
We'll
Yeah.
talk more about
We have a question
fundraisers
and
and
answer
things like
section at
that.
the end, so hold it till the very end.
It's something that my mom was telling me,
Oh.
for half the credit, it's $195
For half,
for half, I think.
$200 for half a credit, so
Wait,
that would be like
I
one
think it's a
term.
full
I
credit.
don't think that,
For half credit, she's texting me, I'm sorry.
So if you wanna know, I would just email altaindependent.com and they can give you, like, they'll know COPA, and if that's something you're interested in, it is an
Yeah.
awesome service.
Go to their website and there's a contact us, and you can just fill it out, and they are really quick to respond, and because we already, with other programs, because they actually do this for a lot of programs, like mountain biking and dance studios, that's kind of their specialty, is this credit capture from extracurricular activities. We are already like approved by them, so they already see, they combed through our curriculum, they know what all of our classes offer, and we are already like approved, so you just have to say I'm with COPA, and they know
And
exactly.
Corey said that a lot of pop students have used it, so
Yeah,
they'll know the
great.
pop program well in the company, so it's an easy thing to use.
yes, it's great. Okay, just a quick announcement. Once again, we mentioned auditions coming up. We do have a post-audition meeting that is May 29th from 5:30 to 6:30. Here, once again, it will be Zoomed as well. If you are cast in a company at that time, you need to attend that meeting. There'll be more details on what is expected for the upcoming year. Like I said, you can watch it on Zoom or link in on Zoom if you'd like, but you do need to have attendance to that meeting because it will be filling with more details to our year ahead. At this time, we want to open it up to any questions. If you have questions on Zoom, turn on your camera and wave to us.
And you can email too, we've got, I don't know
Yes,
how
feel
many minutes
free-
you have of
Feel free
questions,
to
but
email.
yeah, you can always email if we don't get to it.
Katie?
Yeah.
So I know you have no idea for costs for next year because you don't know what you're doing, but do you have like a ballpark?
So I can tell you what it is for MDT.
So let's reiterate the question, because it doesn't always get heard.
Yeah.
You
So
reiterate it
I
well.
will be the monitor to reiterate your question, because they can't always hear. So the question is, do we have a ballpark for tour pricing?
That was way faster than I thought.
I told you efficiency is my goal, so.
So I can tell you what it has cost for MDT, what MDT's cost for those tours are next year.
But the
We're
curriculum
going
is
to
a little
the
bit-
same, we're going to the same places,
I get that, I just.
but we're doing different activities, and so it may adjust.
Actually, it's huge adjustment. MDT is participating in a big organization.
which will have a
We're
fee.
not.
Yeah, I think it's
So
probably
don't mention
better,
those
we will
Not
have it,
really. Okay.
They're
I
way
think-
more.
I just was
I think
curious.
we'll have it clearly, a ballpark that's accurate by the post. And you don't need to sign your contract until the post-parent meeting, so give us a little bit of time to flesh it out. Just so we don't promise something, or say a price that's higher than it ended up coming in, and you were like, oh, we can't make that happen, so it is
So,
probably
like-
better to pause.
When we, like, I mean, the New York one I can't speak to, the California one, I mean, in years past, it's cheaper than you would spend on 3 days of Disneyland through their website.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if you were to do the math of like, what did it cost to go to Disneyland for 3 days? And what did it cost to get a room for 3 nights? And then take that down by like 30%. Like that might give you a good, like, at least what to expect a little bit.
But
There will
we'll
be
have it-
things that
yeah,
change a
talking
little
like
bit, but
Weeks away, and we'll have a better.
yeah,
idea.
and in the, it's,
Yeah, no, it's a good
in
question.
the, it's always in the contract.
Yeah.
Of course, I-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions, Zoom? Any questions on Zoom? And like I said, you're welcome to email us if you don't want to be singled out here. Once again, let me just reiterate, we'll go through things in more detail at the post meeting after auditions are complete. If by some chance you are not able to come to those audition times, please feel free to send in a video audition. Same curriculum, or, not curriculum, what's the word? Requirement. Same requirement, 1 to 2 songs, at least 16 measures each. You can email them to Corey at Utah COPA. I will sit with Tiffany, we'll evaluate them all and then place you what's most appropriate for you to be placed. If you can't make the audition, if you can make the audition, please do come in person. We'd like to see you. Yes, always better.
And it's a good experience for you to have that
sure.
practice.
And along with
in a
that,
safe
if
space.
you are on the fence at all, always audition. And then if you can't do it, you can't do it. Like, it's always better to audition and say, this isn't gonna work out, than it is to not audition and then bug us in August and we don't know where to put you. So like, if you're on the fence at all, it is better to audition and then say, this won't work,
For
than
sure.
it would be to not, and then try to get squeezed in.
Regret Do they still have class on Monday then?
They do. We go through class.
Oh, this week.
It is a little confusing because MDT Showcase is upcoming and many of them don't have classes. POP does have class, so totally normal schedule this week for POP companies. I think Courtney has her hand raised. Did she text you?
Yes.
Texting me was,
What's her
so
question?
can Rise take both movement for stage and songwriting? It seems like it is, but.
I believe so. I
It
believe
says
we
choose
offer-
one
It
or
says
the
choose this or songwriting,
I
well,
think
but
the way-
they're at different times and different days.
So that's what I was.
I believe you can.
You would just
It
have
would
to
be an
pay.
add-on.
You just pay an
You,
additional.
yeah, you would just have to pay more.
So
It's
one is included in your tuition, but for sure, if you wanted both, we could.
like
just-
they do both fit in your schedule, like
Yes.
they're at different times, so you
Yes,
could, yes. ma'am.
Earlier you said Rise couldn't do songwriting, so this time.
Oh, I think maybe that was a misunderstanding. She said it is not elective, it's
Correct.
required. Oh, yes,
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
sorry, that, yeah. Gravity songwriting is an elective, for Rise, it's not an elective, it's for Rise.
I just wanted to make
No,
sure.
that's a
everybody
good
was
yes.
clear
But they
about it.
choose one or the other.
But it's, well,
It
yeah,
actually is another.
it's an elective, but it's not, in that they have to
You
choose,
choose one of the two.
but movement for stage is
Clear as mud.
not.
I know.
In fact, and movement for stage is not an elective for gravity, you have to take it.
Which you will like. Your slated teacher right now is thebomb.com.
Yep.
So
Who?
we're really.
We're not
hoping
gonna
that-
say
we
it
can't
just in
say
case it
she's
doesn't
not
work out.
officially hired, but we're super
And
excited.
if it works out, you're gonna love it.
But it's Hugh Jackman.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a big deal. It's like those things that.
No, it's-
She is super excited.
It's a broader picture. So we
Yes.
realize that hip hop has given you guys, good movement skills and comfortability in your bodies, but there's more to that in performing on stage. It's how do you walk to the microphone, or how do you get on the stool, sit on the stool and get off of the stool? And those things, like, they sound super easy, but I promise you, they're not. And it's a matter of getting comfortable with all the aspects of performing. And so it's much broader based than the hip hop has been, which will be, I think, really helpful.
Do you know, I just had a private student that just competed in a beauty pageant of sorts. And I had worked with her and trained her through things and she said, so I would have never been able to do this if you hadn't have taught me this stuff. And I said, it's funny because these are things that are so important to learn. And she's like, well, when do you teach more students this stuff? And I said, you know what's funny is I teach them at Utah COPA. I teach them to my pop students. She's like, what? You teach these to your pop students? And I said, yes. How funny is it to get on a stool and go with your bum cheek, right? I'm like, so we teach little silly things like that that will help. And we wanted to offer it even on a grander scale. So
I'm gonna come to the class because I do a concert every Christmas. And this last concert, I'm not kidding, I had a sequins gown on. Katie might have been in the
I
audience
was
for
there,
it.
I remember.
Yep, and because of the sequins gown, I was on the stool, I kept sliding off the stool. I was like, oh my gosh, I need some stool etiquette on how and where
Engage
like
your
to put
core,
my
Mindy.
heel.
Engage
No,
your core.
I'm like singing these really interesting songs, so I'll be in your class.
So
taking
what we
it.
would have taught Mindy is we would have taught her, she puts half a bum cheek on the stool and she puts her foot as a base.
Yeah.
So little things like that.
Or
right?
even like,
Kind of silly.
tell Mindy in advance to try sitting on the stool.
Interesting.
Because before in rehearsals, it was too tall. So that was part of the problem, but these are the things that you work out, that
Well,
nobody would ever like help you think through, but will really benefit your performances and just your experiences in life, your dates,
Yeah.
your future job interviews, like all those things. How do you carry yourself when you walk in the room, when you walk out of the room? And so I think it's gonna be a super big class.
More than just singing. You guys, we're excited for the pop program. We're
Yes.
excited for the direction that it's going. We're excited for the changes. Although they are different and there may be some sadness in loss. You know, I know not having Adam here and he's become a big part of our program. I hope you look at this as everything that is happening and being shaped and directed is for the greater good. And we want to evolve the program, but also help you become even better. And these changes will do that. So don't hesitate to reach out with questions. We look forward to our final week of classes this week, as well as our future with auditions coming up and then Rise and Gravity Tour coming up in another week.
Yay.
Let me just do one more quick plug. We do have this awesome end of the year party. It is called our curtain call party. It is June 1st in the morning. Once again, on our website, there's big, huge posters in every foyer that COPA has. It's for you guys. It's for students, company,
Celebrate the end of the
companies,
year.
yes, come celebrate with us. This year we're at the classic skating in Orem from 10 to 12. Bring your families, bring everyone. We would love to have them come. But come play. We have laser tag and the arcade is open, skating. I mean, it is a big, huge party. So put that on your calendar. We'd love to have you June 1st from 10 to 12. And once
Which is
again,
the same day as tour intensive for Rise
we're
of
intensive
Gravity.
is in the afternoon. So don't forget, it's a big day for us, but it'll be fun. We'll probably have to do fun pizza. We're together.
Hey, you guys, thanks
Okay,
for coming.
being here. Thanks.
We figured it out.
You did.
We're good.
Okay, do you want
She'll be there.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, if you got a chair, do you mind just helping us put a few chairs up?